All right, so this man Jimmy B, Jimmy B has made it clear that he is done with the Minnesota Timberwolves. He has stated that he has no intentions of signing a contract extension in Minnesota. Uh, I think this is funny, man. I think this is funny because he's apparently said that he is quote unquote all but fed up with the nonchalant attitude of his younger teammates. End quote. Specifically, Cat. So Jimmy Butler, I think it's funny, man, with a player like this. Jimmy Butler, he is the ultimate inspiration story. This is a dude who went from being the 15th man, end of the bench, scrub, nobody, get the best player some water, to now he's the lead player on the Bulls. This is a couple years ago. Lead player, because he worked hard, worked his ass off, got his jump shot right, worked on his shot creation, and worked. He's already a great defensive player, a good defensive player. Became great. Became locked down in the NBA. And he kind of let it get to his head, man, because he became the best in a bad situation at the Bulls because Derrick Rose got hurt. When you're the best in a bad situation, you start looking at yourself with a little too much, shit on your chest. But I will say this: he's speaking truth right now. Jimmy Butler is speaking truth because on the Timberwolves there was a clear lack of leadership. Because they looked like they had no direction from the top down with their coach, Tom Thibodeau. He's a defensive coach, but they're like 27th, 28th in defensive ranking and efficiency and shit. Then you got Andrew Wiggins, who's their highest paid player, but he's not even playing in his right position. He plays shooting guard. He's not even playing in his right position. Then you have their best player, which is Cat, who's not receiving the fucking ball, who's not demanding the ball, who's not standing up to his coach and saying, look, I'm not going to play out there on the wing. Put me down low. Then you got Jimmy Butler, right? Who he's obviously the oldest one in that locker room of their most talented players, of their top three players. He's the oldest one by far. I think he's older than Andrew Wiggins by like 5-6 years. So they're in a totally different generation, to be honest with you. And it's clear that Jimmy Butler has a different mentality than them. Not necessarily saying that he has a better mentality than them, but you can tell that he's an alpha male, and you can tell that he's getting tired of their bullshit. Because Andrew Wiggins and KARL Towns, them two motherfuckers, they too cool for school. All right, they are way too cool for school, and they never look pissed. I'm not saying you gotta do things because for optics, you gotta make yourself look angry and shit like that. I don't give a fuck about all that. But there's a clear lack of interest from those two players, especially in last year's playoffs. That shit was abysmal. That shit was terrible. I saw KARL Towns looking like, as my man Chronicles of Judah would say, looking like a kitty cat out there. Then you got Andrew Wiggins looking like he don't want to play no defense. Man was letting James Harden splash all over that ass, doing all kinds of stuff. I was like, what is this, man? Then you got Jimmy Butler thinking he's Michael Jordan or something. Motherfucker pulling up from two. Motherfucker running around the place, running around screens, pulling up from two, doing all kinds of silly shit. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man. T-Wolves, they ain't doing shit, all right? Jimmy Butler, at best, is your third best player on a championship team. He is your third best player on a championship team, all right? My man has T-Rex arms. No diss. He's been great despite it. He's got T-Rex arms and lacks a true, higher understanding of the game. He cannot lead a team to a championship. It's that simple. He's just not good enough. As we saw with DeMar DeRozan is not good enough to lead his team to a championship. It's that simple. T-Mac wasn't that good. If we want to go there, T-Mac wasn't good enough to lead his team to a championship. We can go to other players like Carmelo Anthony. Same story. You have good players come along in this league who cannot lead their team to a championship. It's that simple. You can make your team watchable. You got different tiers. There's levels. There's different tiers to this shit, right? So you got someone like a Jimmy Butler. He can make your team watchable. He can turn them into a playoff team, most likely, if you have decent talent. But his teams usually get that first round boot. They usually get that first round boot. They get a nice second round exit at best. All other players of his ilk, like a PG-13 or a Kawhi, and if we want to go even farther, if we want to say LeBron, not necessarily of his ilk, but play his same position or considered upper echelon. even DeMar DeRozan. They've led their teams, they led their squads to the not the Eastern, they led the squads to the conference finals, you know, if not the finals. Each one of those players, you can look them all up, they did. So, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. The way Cat looked out there, he needed looked like he needed a damn asthma pump or something, man. Or Mike's special stuff from Space Jam. Something. I mean, somebody should put some shit in his water or something, man. But this man looked like he broke up with basketball or some shit. My man averaged 15 points per game. Karl Anthony Towns is their best player. And he averaged 15 points per game. My man was standing out there on the three looking like he's damn Peja Stojakovic or something, waiting for the kick out. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And you got Wiggins out here playing like he's LeBron, not LeBron, playing like he's DeMar versus the Cavs. My man looks shook, yo. He looks shook out there. Don't get me wrong. I would hope for these young players to get it together. You know, to watch another young man, especially, you know, my kind, I will hope, as a so-called black man, I will hope that these boys get it together for themselves. You know, I want to see people succeed. I want to see it. But I'm not going to sit here and lie about facts, okay? Now, this man, Jimmy B, because of his statements, basically alluded to the fact that he's most likely going to try and leave there after this year. He's going to try and prove that he deserves a max contract or a super max and try and exit, you know, and go to a better situation, somewhere where he plays with people he wants to play with, somewhere like in New York, maybe even in LA, most likely in New York. Now, if him and Kyrie both go to New York, that could be a fun little combo. You know, that could be a fun little combo, but he's going to be traded before the trade deadline, most likely. Because if the Minnesota Timberwolves don't look like they're going to win a championship, which they're not, motherfuckers, them motherfuckers got about the same chance to win as me, and I don't even play, all right? So no. The Minnesota Timberwolves will be trading this man, Jimmy Butler, before the trade deadline, which they should do, because it's obvious that he's not going to stay. And even then, do you want him to stay when he's at odds with your two other best players? No. And he's not good enough to keep him an older player versus keeping your two young stars. Get rid of him. Get rid of Jimmy Butler. Get something decent back for him and keep moving on from there. All right. So it's going to be a good move for Jimmy B. It's going to be a good move for. It's going to be a good move for Minnesota. For instance, if I were Minnesota, I'd be doing everything in my power to see if I could package a Jimmy Butler for a Jaylen Brown, or if I could package a Jimmy Butler for just any other two guard in the league, even a Jimmy Butler for a Bradley Beal. That might be a nice little shakeup for Washington, which it's most likely not going to happen. You know, let's just keep that shit a buck. That shit ain't going to happen. But Minnesota needs to ship him off for something. They got to get at least a 2 or a 3 back. That is not necessarily transformational, but that gels better with their squad. Because Jimmy Butler, you know, he can't be their leader. But that was it. We're going to do another video. We're going to do something else. But all right.